take U.S. market share in December from General Motors. The government-controlled automaker reports auto sales which were worse than analysts expected. For more sector, let's bring in Bill Russo. Bill is the founder and president of Synergistics, and senior advisor with Booz Co. So, a former VP of Chrysler Northeast Asia, a position he held for more than 4 years. Bill, apologies for stumbling on that. These U.S. car sales, we've seen a dramatic contraction in demand in the U.S. market, both in 2008 and last year. Is a recovery in sight?
Yeah, I think this year everyone is expecting a recovery, but in my view, I think the recovery is going to be quite gradual. What we need to have are some fundamentals that jobs growth and unemployment needs to go down in order for people to have the confidence to come back to them.
China's auto sales due out later this week. I mean, how strong will the numbers be? What's your own prediction?
I think China has a fundamental and sustainable growth path. What's fueling the sales in China is the emergence of the first growth Tier 1 cities, the coastal areas. What's fueling the growth now is the growth in GDP per capita and the urbanization trends. You have more and more people moving and migrating and earn more money. That's creating a higher GDP per capita, and that will fuel growth for the foreseeable future. I see growth slowing somewhat in this year. 45% year-on-year growth is not going to continue into 2010. I expect growth more in the range of 10%. Industry at about 15 million units in 2010.
And of course, there is the competition that's heating up. India, for example, is aggressively. What are the biggest challenges facing Chinese automakers in the coming months, in the coming years?
Well, I think what you're seeing in China is in the battleground for global auto industry dominance. Virtually every automaker in the world are playing here, and all are growing quite rapidly. So you have in China the case of where in most markets you have maybe 15 or 20 companies competing for the business. In China, 100 companies competing for the business. The big challenge in China is not just a lot of people talk about overheating of the market, but is overcapacity. As more and more companies come in and try to take the share of the market, there's a lot of pressure on trying capacity, which is growing in excess of the market demand.
So what should they be doing now to remain profitable in this kind of environment?
Have to get back to the fundamentals. What drives people to shop for your products are attractive value propositions, quality, brand. Brands have to represent something. And in China, the consumers are very brand conscious. So I think the fundamentals have to be there for companies to sustain their growth. It's not just the market, although there's a large percentage of the people in the market that shop on price. They also want to have face when they purchase their products. They want to be seen in a car of a certain status in life.
Bill, if you had to make a bet, which auto companies do you think are likely to be the winners this year?
At this year's performance, the big growth stories, the big volume growth stories in China have been Volkswagen, Hyundai, and one of the Chinese brands, BYD. General Motors has done quite well with both Buick and Chevrolet brand products. Chery has also seen significant growth. But in a market that's growing 45%, nobody is shrinking. I think the challenge in China going forward is positioning yourself to take advantage of some of the potential that's represented in the lower tier markets where the consumers are entering the market for the first time. The vast majority of the sales this year were for products in lower displacement because of favorable tax policies, and it's the urbanization trend, particularly in some of these lower tier cities where consumers are entering the market for the first time. The global companies and the local companies are trying to tap into. So I think the big challenge in 2010 will be to tap into these trends and position yourself for.
All right, Bill Russo, Booz Co. Thank you. Stay tuned. A regular Forex segment is up next with BNP Paribas Theo Chin Lu. So at the address you see on your screen.